Welcome back, Shinners. Welcome back to the Shindig podcast, where we get under the skin of the trials community. My name is Tom Hutley.
And I'm Matt Pengelly.
Today we have got an Austrian powerhouse.
Yeah. Is it the Austrian Andre Byrne?
No, this guy actually wins competitions.
This guy actually wins them. Let's give a big round of applause for Mr. Thomas Pechhacker. Yeah.
Hey guys.
How you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks.
Yeah,
what about you?
Good to hear, mate. Yeah, we're doing well in grey, miserable England over here. Now, for the listeners,
how's the weather?
Oh, mate, brutal. You know that. It's always it's pretty grey here today, mate. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, okay.
We're having to use artificial light to bring brightness to the world. Where are you in the world, for the listeners who don't know?
Well, I'm home on my couch in Austria, actually.
In Austria,
yes.
The home of extreme sports, really, wasn't it? You know, that's where Red Bull started, wasn't it? I believe.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
That's where they originated from. Clearly weren't doing well enough to get sponsored by them, though, were you, Thomas? So.
Austria. Yeah.
Whereabouts in Austria are you?
The town is called Burgstall. It's quite a small town.
Mm-hmm.
But if you know, like Vienna and Salzburg, like right in the middle of those two cities. Yeah, so in the heart of Austria, actually.
Nice. And you've always lived there your entire life, born and bred, sort of.
Yeah.
Strong Austrian, another Arnold Schwarzenegger over here.
Yeah.
That's probably where he gets some of his influence.
It must be in the water, I think. You know, everyone
in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do they eat and drink over there? It must have been like
just naturally breeding powerhouses and stacked.
A lot of schnitzel.
Yes, a lot of schnitzel. Yes.
Yeah, Wiener Schnitzel. Yeah.
All right, well, thanks for coming on, Thomas, of course. You've been called out by one of your close friends, Jonas, there, who wanted you desperately on. And, of course, we did. You're another rainbow jersey rider on the show. That's a big deal for us. That's cool, man. So, firstly, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
People who didn't know was the Trials UCI World Champion in 2018. And then what happened after that? No, well, before we go into those days, as always, we'll go right to the very beginning, Thomas. Right to the very sort of start of your career or passion and journey. How did you even get into trials?
So my father and actually my whole family, like all my uncles and they were all riding motor trials. So like by now we're 4 brothers. So there was like a gift for Christmas. It was, I think. So it was a trials bike, and that's where it all started. Wow,
the originated from motor trials. Like that's where the sport began. I suppose.
Yeah.
And did you plan? Was that your route to think? Oh, I'm going to become a motorbike trial rider. That's why you went on it, or?
No, not really. Like, because like, especially back in the days and in Austria, like the usual like way to do like or to make a career in motor trials is to start with bike trials. But I think for me the bike was always just more fun, And at the age I think of like 12 or 13, then like most of the people just like switched to motor trials. And a lot of guys were asking me just like, when do you like switch to motor trials? But I never really, I don't know.
Never
bike
happened.
is just way, never happened. Yeah. For me on the bike, it's just like way more fun, It's like silent.
Well, yeah. Well, you've got a dual disc. What might we add to the listeners there? That's what.
Super smooth.
Super smooth, super silent. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that though. Like, I mean, I obviously come from like a bike background, but I imagine if motor trials, the difference by being on a bike trials is that it's a lot more independent. You haven't got to rely upon like the
you are the engine
or someone to take you to places, and you've got to.
Yeah, exactly.
You can just go ride down the street on your bike. So I suppose that's the big plus for bike trials is that it's yours basically. It's not like having to do it with someone else really.
Yeah, like going for training is way more convenient as well. It's like because, for example, like friends of mine, like they used to ride motor trials when I was doing like bike trials, and they've trained like once a week or something because they had to go there, or their fathers had to bring them to a motor trials park. They have to bring the motor trials, and I just rode every day basically.
It's the accessibility, by the sounds of that. True, if motorbikes was obviously more accessible and easier to get to, we might all be on the kind of the motor trials. And obviously, interesting, it's come from your family. I must add to others that you have a brother that you ride with as well, Alex, who's another great rider, constantly in your shadow.
He is. He really
pushing
is. Hard.
I know that. What's that like to have, like a family member? What's the relationship between you two for riding and so on?
It's actually really good. Like we're 4 brothers. So when I was younger, like I have an older brother as well. Okay. I was the one who was like pushing and trying to be, like as good as my older brother, or like then later even better. And now like my smaller brother Alexander is pushing as well, so it's really like a nice kind of like competition and relationship.
I think that's good. That's really nice to see, man.
Yeah.
And I think, do you guys train? I've seen most of the time I'm seeing you sort of ride together as well. You obviously ride together, compete together. Do you train regularly together?
Yeah, like not as much as you would think probably, because he's like studying in Vienna, and we don't really like maybe once a week we train together.
Okay.
Something like that. But also like when we go on training camps, most of the times he joins, and also competitions, of course. He's doing all the World Cup and the World Championships. And a good relationship as well,
Yeah, it's like a proper trials family by the sounds of it, Thomas.
Well, it's kind of like accountability. Like, have you ridden this week? Like, it's like me and you. Like.
Yeah, that's true. Who's the best rider out of all the siblings then? He's like,
I had to think about that then.
Is your older brother's better than you? Or have you surpassed them by now? I'd like to think so.
Yeah, but he
doesn't want to say it himself. I know, Thomas. You're too humble. You're too humble. You're the better rider. Okay, I think we got that. But someone has to excel and be sort of better than the rest. I forgot to ask, what age were you then when you sort of started riding trials, and how long have you actually been riding?
I've started when I was 6 years, actually.
Wow.
Since then, I never stopped or had a break or anything. So quite a long time now. I'm 25 now.
Definitely one of those. It's like, did you know there are people in the world that don't own bikes, Thomas? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There are obviously people that have had it around their life constantly, mate. So, it's about time you got a world champion jersey, putting all those years in.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to get to.
So what does let's say your riding look now then? You've explained how, when you got to the age of 12, 13, you thought, right, I'm going to go into trials biking. Actually, maybe give us a bit more of a how that evolved, from 12 to 13 to, let's just say, world champion, because obviously there's a big step between that. How did that gradually progress? When did you know that this was possible, that you could become a world champion?
Well, I've always trained hard and rode a lot, from the beginning, from the start actually. So I didn't really, I've never really seen anything different from that. So my life was always with trials and about trials actually. But when I first realized that it was possible to get world champion was I think in South Africa, because I became junior vice world champion, and I think that's where I really decided to push hard and try to get as far in the lead as possible.
Win, get to the top.
Yeah.
Say there's a lot of hard work. Is it that point so young then that you actually factored in your training as a regular part of your life routine?
Yeah. Well, it has always been a regular routine for me. But I think since then it's got really more professional and more systematic, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something to watch. Are you? I don't know. Are you you doing this as full-time work as well? Have you got another job on the side, Thomas? Because I know you also run a trials display team as well, don't you?
Yeah, I do shows. Like if it's not COVID,
Of course.
I do shows.
Yeah.
And yeah, like over the winter, I actually worked for my father's company. But besides that, like during summer, I'm full-time rider.
Right. Yeah, that's what I thought. I wasn't quite sure, so I'm going to ask. It's just it's a hard lifestyle to live, to make money out of. And I see you took a few leaf out of Andre Burton's book, obviously naming your display team after your name, just like Andre. That's what it was. We had to bring that up and be like, which I thought was, brilliant, man. That's when I found out. I thought I had to use that. And is it the kind of thing that you will carry on basically for as long as you possibly can? And what's your future plans for, like, to keep it for work? Basically, do you want to carry on competing? You carry on doing shows when you can?
Yeah, I will for sure. Like as long as I can, or as long as it makes sense for me, for sure. Like at competing, I don't know if I will stay like till like Benito, like really long. Well, it depends, if it still makes fun then or not for me. So, but for sure, I want to do that as long as possible.
Yeah, it's always so mad. Like when you look at Benito and you think, man, he's been riding at such a good level for such a long time. I think that's a big inspiration.
Yeah, definitely.
Incredible. Yeah. And when you talk to him, he's like, he always says like when he's still improving, he keeps on, and he still has fun, and it's such an inspiration. Yeah.
I mean, that is the most important factor. I'd like to think at that age it's still fun for him, and it isn't a forced kind of pressure. But after you'd won the Worlds, like in 2018, did you feel in 19? Obviously, you didn't quite, but was there an element of pressure to perform again? Did you feel that at all, or?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Especially because you also like you're wearing the rainbow jersey, so you also like visually you have to be the best because you're wearing that jersey.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Because we would have been watching him in Italy 2019. I think that's where you may have met Thomas for the first time, and absolutely, we're looking at you going, "There's the world champion!" Like.
Yeah,
he's the favourite. He's the guy to watch.
I'm like, we're going to watch him nail it through this. So I can absolutely see where you're coming from.
Yeah,
there's a level of expectation of people just looking at you. Because that reminded me of the time that, did you have, correct me if I'm wrong, when we did the London trial battle, was that just before the Worlds or just after?
That was just before.
Because you didn't quite have the rainbow then, did you? Right, because it's made me realise there was some people in the crowd, like you said, oh, look, he's got a rainbow jersey. It was Carthy. And that's when the guy's like, is that a real rainbow jersey? And I was going to the guy like, what do you mean, is that real? He's like, has he actually won a world?
I don't know. You get some road cyclists come past here sometimes on their bikes. I'm like, he's a world champion.
I thought they just bought the hats. But it's a really interesting point that you're wearing that sort of jersey. Do you wear it in all of your rides at the moment then? Nice proud rainbow.
No. Actually, I think I've never worn it during any training. I've only during where I had to.
Yeah, no, true.
Because again, like I felt the pressure of it kind of, because if you wear it like it's training and everyone is like looking at you, it's like, oh, he's got the rainbow jersey,
he must be good.
Exactly, yeah. And if you fail one time, and then it's like, for me, it felt like I couldn't meet the expectations of all the people, It's like.
So I'd be interested to know that obviously you've said that your life is very much geared up to trials. Obviously, you've been world champion, you're actively competing. It's obviously a very, very big part of your life. How did you find it during the pandemic? Obviously, of course, there's no shows or not as many shows. There's no competitions to train for. How was that for you? What went through your head, and how did you kind of cope with that? Because I imagine it must be such a hard thing.
There was no competitions either. It would have been the first year in years that you hadn't competed?
Yeah, well, there in the end there was some competitions during summer last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, it was like up and down always, like especially with motivation. So at the beginning of the year, I was really motivated, even though there was no competitions. But if it's like if you don't have had any competition for like 6 months, you get a little bit of like I don't know why I'm doing this,
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's been like a really like up and down. But yeah, I'm glad that I could like manage that well, like to come past that year. And now this year looks way better, so I hope for the best.
Yeah, it's starting to get to
calendars in the dates. I know that I think Austria's that's been rescheduled now, hasn't it? That's gone up to
yeah,
October.
to October. Yeah.
Right, yeah, that's making sense.
Because that was the first one on the calendar, but then because of the restrictions.
So we're all going to stay at Thomas's house for that one. Okay, I see now.
Yeah, you're all invited.
I don't know if I know Dre's going over, and he might be going in his van, isn't he? So,
yeah, he thinks about it. Yeah.
Which I keep saying he feels he's probably quite fortunate to have his name mentioned a few times, Mr. Burton there. But you're recently riding with him this year. Actually, I know he was over doing Ninja Warrior Austria, which is what I want to bring up right now. For the listeners who don't know, Dre was over there working, and he went to visit, and you guys were training together. Cut a long story short, he basically got you on the show, didn't he?
Yeah.
Are you allowed to tell us anything? Because I don't know if there's a disclaimer, like, because it's for a show. How did that come about, basically? How did you get on the show? Maybe don't tell us the results. I'm not sure you're allowed to, but...
No, I don't really know, because I got into the show like 2 days before, I was like, Andrew was like, Carol was here as well, my trainer, Carol Seven. And it's just because, like he worked there, and he told us to just come over and have a look at like all the production. And so we were like, yeah, sure, it's going to be fun. So we were there and had a look at the obstacles, and then I don't know why, but he just suddenly like told I think the course manager it was. He just told him, yeah, Thomas, like he's really good, so you have to get him on the show. It's like, yeah, sure. And he wrote like a couple of emails, and then suddenly a few hours later, they like from the TV, they called me and like, yeah, we really want you on the show. And like, what? I didn't even have like. I didn't even have the chance to say no, It's like
they just said, "Can you?" It was like, "Can you do the course in 1 hour?" And you were like,
I don't know.
Can I take my bike?
But I'll be honest, like Thomas, you
exactly.
absolutely fitted the bill, though. Like you're an Austrian champion in trials there. You're a world champion. You're a professional athlete. So yeah, come on, it was only a matter of time. You just didn't, like I think you needed that little bit of a push.
Yeah, probably, because I've never even thought about it, because when I compete, I always want to be the best, and obviously I can't win Ninja Warrior because like I've no experience in climbing or anything like that, and that's why at the beginning I didn't really want to say yes or no. But in the end, it was really fun. It was
good. I'm glad, because I have actually seen one of your runs from Dre's phone. I watched the video, and you did really well, bro. Like really well. I was like watching that, like, oh well, you're a strong guy. I don't know why you were so worried. So I'm only going to say fantastic job. I don't know how much further you got.
Actually, I'm surprised. Like I'm really happy, because I saw like the guys who ran before me was like really strong climbers, and they fell down on like grip strength obstacles, and I was like, oh shit,
Yeah, like you
think a climber would do that. Grip strength.
I can't do that, But then in the end, I even managed to go through that.
I know. Yeah, it was really cool. It was really good. I don't know at what point that will be out, but I'd like to think we'll take a nice recording of that when it's available and share it for everybody to see. So great job, and also not surprised that Dre dragged you into that one. It'd be nice.
As always.
So you said there how you don't actually, you've not had experience climbing. We know that Andre's a climber. We know that some other trials riders do use this as a discipline because, of course, grip strength, forearm strength for like arm pump and stuff. Is there any other things outside of trials that you do, gym wise, to help you on the bike?
You actually have a trainer as well, don't you? Technically, I think you're one of the first trials riders I've met who actually has someone that dedicated to. Actually, that's a lie. Adam Allwood. Sorry, Adam Allwood does have another trainer. What's terrible? What's that like? As Tom's saying, how are you kind of approaching that? Having a trainer and building towards, off the bike is what we're trying to say. How are you training off the bike?
Yeah. Like I do a lot of gym work, obviously, but not only like lifting heavy weights and just trying to jump as high as possible, but also to like be healthy, stay healthy. Like that's the most important thing, I would say. My trainer is Carol Sevin, and we kind of like created the life cycle, which is.
Is that what it's called? So like the training regime, sorry, what's it called? The life cycle?
The life cycle, exactly, yeah.
I know we touched base on that, yeah.
Yeah, I think you've talked about it with Jonas as well. Yeah, and it's basically now like also a team. So we have like team camps all around the world, which is really, really nice. And we can push each other really good. Since this year, also like Nicolas Valet is in the team, so another top cool. Like really strong rider, and it's just
it's quite new, still growing. You say all over the world. Well, we haven't seen you in the UK yet, but we could try it. You need some people to work out here, and I must say, what you guys are doing there obviously is fantastic. I know we always talk about. Like, how do we train? How do we get better? What do we work on? There's never really, a wrong or right answer yet. So it would be quite nice to be like, this is this training book.
If this works with these guys, then it's going to have some positive influence on me, and probably will inspire me more, because my only kind of training metric is like, can I still ride my bike? That's the more important thing.
But I like what you said about, being healthy is actually even more important. And Matty Turner said this a few weeks ago, just being like, I'm going training and working out just to stay healthy.
Not get so many injuries,
as opposed to like, putting your body to its physical edge. It's all good. You can lift weights and do that, but the heavier you lift, the more likely you are to injure yourself. It might not be that great in the long run. But I like that kind of concept, rather than just being like going to a gym to be big or strong. It's the term of being healthy, and that's like for in the mind.
No, it's really also a long-term approach, because of course, like, you can train for a year in the gym to like get better like really fast, but if you don't look after your health, you're gonna be like, in 5 years you're gonna be injured or something like that. So the goal is really to get better like in the long term.
And how, obviously, that in the long term and moving forward to train, you obviously got to be motivated and driven. Is there anything that how do you stay motivated? Is it your family that keep you going? Is it you just like an end result? What kind of keeps you going?
It's basically the guys I train with, I would say. Of course, like, there is competitions, there's motivation of like doing good in a competition, and there's like big goals, of course. But I think at the end of the day, it's for me, it's all about riding together with friends. That's what I have the most motivation from.
Yeah, and the most, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, getting the guys together.
Aspect of...
Yeah, and I know, like, you probably, I keep saying it, but when Dre was here the other few days ago, he was going on about how, like, he had an amazing, like, time catching up with you and Alex, and just, like, getting together and riding together.
Yeah.
So I can definitely relate to that. I think it's others that keep us kind of going, and the funness of, getting
especially during COVID, I realized that, because most of people thought that, yeah, you're gonna miss like competitions, and you don't have a goal now. But actually, it's what I missed the most was riding together with all like the life cycle team and all my friends and all that stuff.
The social aspect.
It makes such a massive difference.
Yeah.
We've definitely found that this year. Now we've got like a regular street riding going on in the UK. Like every Sunday, there's always something. And if it rains or if something happens on Sunday, it's like, shit.
Yeah, we've just like missed an entire, and it's still
and then you
growing.
feel so crap like the next
come on.
week.
You don't ride when it rains?
We don't have dual discs.
We don't have dual discs like you and Jonas there. Although
come on.
I've been watching a lot of your stuff this morning, and I've just been like, I think I might get a dual disc bike. Just kind of. Speaking of which, you on your bike, I want to bring up a clip.
It's kind of to do with staying healthy, preventing injuries. You prevent injuries so well in this one clip. It's on your Instagram.
Yeah, I'm just going to share my screen.
Just so the listeners, if they're on YouTube watching this, they can see exactly the clip we're referring to.
Can you see my screen here, Thomas?
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I know which you're going for.
Yeah, you know which one I'm going to click.
It's got 14,000 views.
If you haven't already been and followed Thomas, please do. He's got a really great Instagram. Like, even his pictures are super pro. I can tell you've got some quality control going on there, Thomas, because your images are usually like...
Yeah, they're like
very good.
Well lit.
Well lit. You're definitely a professional rider, put it that way. Anyway, let's just cut to this amazing clip here. Okay, it's going to play. I think it will loop. It goes in slow-mo here.
Fast.
Yeah.
What the F? And to 2 feet as well. It's absolutely brilliant. We'll try. I'm going to try.
I still don't know what happened there. Like, it was in Rudina at Samuel Clavaty's place.
Yeah.
And it was at the end of the training, and I just saw that gap. I'm like, yeah, why not try and go for it? And then, I don't know, it has never happened to me, but like I think my left foot just went off the pedal in the air, and I don't know, it just naturally landed on my feet.
So it was going to be a gap to front, presumably?
Yeah.
Is this one more time here? Look, to slow-mo. I mean, for the listeners who aren't watching.
It's a massive gap to front, and it's kind of like, you can say your back foot comes off, but you gracefully just kind of let go of everything, so the bike just falls underneath you, and you just land on top of the obstacle.
Yeah, like as if a free runner's going to 2 wheels. It looks like it was meant to be at that point. I mean, it's a great caption, win or a fail. I think that there is an absolute sort of pure luck, I think, and your reactions were just, excuse my pun, impeccable.
Yeah, like that would have been like a proper shindig if I would have like smashed the edge of that.
Because he almost gets one. It's like the pedal hits his sock there, and just
definitely check that out. It's
So if you're not,
there's not many people who could pull it off that well. I think you, Matt. I don't know what.
I mean, exactly. I think. I've been holding onto the bike, and I would actually have probably put teeth marks in the log. I think something along those lines.
Why is it with logs, man?
Yeah, I know.
Blame the logs.
Well, I think. Well, they all. I don't know. They all hate. Oh no, it's Jonas who got killed by logs, wasn't it? In the UCI logs section.
Him and logs, yeah.
Him and logs. He's got very hard.
But actually, he's really good. Like on riding on logs. Like his riding is like all the balance and like gapping to rear and turning and I don't know why that picture like made him so famous. I mean, it's good. It's, any publicity is good publicity, really. It's better to be infamous than never be famous at all. So I'm glad that kind of brought him to light. Because I like to think, do you feel that either, you and Jonas are quite close mates, you like to ride together. Is one of you better at something than the other? Is there a little bit like... Yeah, of course.
Yeah, there's definitely. I mean, like I'll say my view, you like the power one, and he's like precision. But am I wrong? Talk me through your relationship and your riding together.
Yeah, I think like I've got more power, but he also like, especially his pedal ups to rear, like he can go massive, like really massive on those ones. And I don't know.
So you are you're pushing each other in different areas, is what I mean.
Yeah, exactly. I think during time, like and we've trained so much together that I think it kind of like leveled out like all the weaknesses of one another. So that's like really the beneficial part of riding together.
And a strong, stern, we are disc brake riders. You know what I mean? Like we both ride front and rear disc.
We've got rims, they've got colour on the side of them. We don't need to grind them.
And obviously, you know, of course, your team riders as well, which is, you know, that's cool. You've both got the support from Trilight, is it? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that, you're riding a Maestro. You're both riding Maestros, aren't you?
No, I'm on the clean.
You're on the clean? Oh, of course he is now. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Thomas. Yeah, they look so.
Jonas is on the Maestro.
Yes, that's it. You did have a Maestro, right? No, you did.
Yeah, I was riding in 2019. Yeah.
That's it. So, well, that will move us on to your support. I wanted to kind of give us a bit of a journey of your kind of sponsorships and the support that you've had over the years. Talk us through that kind of journey.
Yeah, I think it. Where did it start? I think my first like real sponsor was like an Austrian trials shop, you know, because like he gave me like 2 bikes and that was kind of like the start. And
how old were you there? So as your start of the like, how old were you at this point?
I think around like 14.
Yeah, so you're a young teenager. Like that's when you're 14, you get sponsored. Like you think that like it's the coolest thing in the world, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, it is. Like, and if you get a bike, you know, like you can't afford for it, you know, at the age of 14, and if you just get it for free, it's like the best thing in the world.
That's every kid's dream. Like, come on, that's awesome, man. So yeah, you got support from the local shop. That's cool.
Exactly. Yeah, and I was, I think that was Monty. And then I went to like another Austrian shop. I was on Osonis back then. But then I switched to like straight to the Monty factory team. And I think that's where it all kind of like began for me, that I also realized that I could make a living out of that and that I could find sponsors and
and do what you loved for a job, right? You're like, if I work hard enough at this, then
exactly, yeah. And after like the Monty Pro Race team, I was on the Maestro in 2019, and now I'm on the clean. Yeah.
And how are you finding your clean bike right now? Which is what was your favorite out of all of those?
It is the clean. It is the clean.
It is your newest one, okay?
But, no, it's really like honestly the best bike I've ever had for sure. But I also like, I really like the Monty as well. You know, like if you look at it nowadays, it's like, you know, it doesn't have like the BB30 and all the new like technologies. You know, like
what would that
would
been like the M5 Carbon? Was that or
exactly? Yeah, the M5.
Yeah,
Carbon,
he was
like the latest version.
You were the first person I saw on that bike. Basically, I don't even remember anyone. Yeah. You're the first person I saw on that Monty car.
Yeah. I was riding it at the London Trials Battle.
Yeah, it's awesome. Awesome little.
Yeah, it was a really nice bike. Really nice bike.
So
because the PP was still like a little bit lower than now, which I like more, I have to say. And the wheelbase was a bit longer as well, and long chainstay, it's perfect.
Yeah, because obviously like a clean now, it's quite a short, they're like 1010, aren't they? Like quite a short bike with, you know, like plus 80 bottom bracket or something. It's quite high.
They are 10.8 even, yeah.
They're 10.8? Oh, 10.08. 1008. Yeah, 1008.
Yes.
That's even a little bit smaller. Wow, I'm measuring that. I wonder if Cam knows that.
So you've been with carbon bikes for quite a while then, so that almost sounds like you're only ever going to ride a carbon bike. Is that the case?
Yeah, I'm a bit scared of like going back to aluminium. I don't know.
You're actually scared of going to aluminium, you said?
Yeah.
Why? Because you're just like, hey, I can't. You're supposed to be like strong. And he's like, no,
not because of the weight, but I have so much trust into carbon now. Really, like I've smashed so many carbon frames into rocks, and you know they've got cracks, but I kept on riding them, and they didn't break, you know. And
That's like the
just,
complete opposite of what I'd expect you to say. Everyone being like, "Oh yeah, no, carbon's the way; it's stronger." But I do believe it's supposedly is stronger. It's not going to snap in half.
No.
So
Like I've had some cracks in carbon frames, but I've never really completely like smashed a frame into two pieces. Never.
And you've always, I've always seen you on a 20. Is there any point that you rode a larger wheel in trials? Did you give it a go or?
No, not really. Sometimes I ride with like, I don't know, friends 26, or when Andrew was here, I tried a couple of moves and yeah. To also prove him that it's easy on a 26 to go big.
Yeah, see, this is what I have two size bikes too, and there are days where I'm like, if I have that bike, it would have been easier. The gaps are bigger. I get it. So you've always stuck with 20. Like, why?
Yeah.
Is that because you felt that you were actually better on it, or you didn't think there was going to be any difference for you? Why did you stay?
I think for me, it's just more fun. Because it's like you can do bunny hops and all that stuff, and of course, like you can run disc brakes, and it's just for me like smoother riding, I would say, than on a 26.
Yeah, obviously you don't get dual disc 26. You can, don't get me wrong. I won't your fault that.
It just hasn't really been mastered. It just never has.
Yeah, and if it is, it's more of a just street sort of style there, isn't it? And
yeah, it is. Yeah, and I love to do bunny hops, and you can't do that on 26.
Yeah,
well,
no,
like you can,
but it's definitely not quite the same, is it? Like it doesn't look as good either.
No.
Yeah, it just doesn't have that same kind of. And I mean, I've always thought, doing things on a 20 just looks more impressive.
Oh, it looks way more fun.
It just looks, more impressive. You're doing the same moves, like for you to keep up with the bigger riders that are on bigger bikes. You watch someone on a big bike, go, that looks cool. And you watch someone do the exact same thing on a 20 and you go, oh my days, just because it is, so I can kind of relate. Yeah. I don't think I ever I don't think I will ride 26. I don't know, you might give 24 a go.
Yeah, I think so, but just to switch it up a little bit.
So that kind of answers it. We may never see you on a different size wheel then. Maybe. I could see you riding 24 because that's like just a bigger 20-inch sort of, but it's not as common in trials, that size wheel, I don't know.
No, there was a time where like there was some 24-inch riders, also good ones. But, they had to compete with the 26-inch guys, so there wasn't really a sense to like have a 24 in competitions.
Yeah, I realise that now, having done mine on Sunday. It was a worse decision. I should have stuck to the 20 where I know best what I'm doing. Yeah, it just feels... Yeah, changed it up.
Well, like you said, if you're having to compete with 26-inch riders, you're not really getting any advantage.
Well, it's that weird thing where you're not quite small enough to be 20, you're not big enough to be 26. So where do you actually stand? Yeah. You think, oh, it's a best of both, and it's actually, no, I just don't really fall into any of those. That's my excuse for doing so badly. Probably the worst. We had our first UCI national like this weekend, and it was the worst competition I've ever ridden in my life. It was absolutely dreadful. I was, not the competition. I might have to add that. I was, not the comp. The comp was amazing. The British bike trial, the Derbyshire bike trial centre was really great host for it, and it was really cool. Should we go into our slow?
I was going to say a quick fire round. Let's tie it all together. Let's do our quick fire round of questions.
The not so quick fire.
So, Thomas, you've ridden a lot of places, around the world by the looks of it. Where could you pin down would be your favourite place to go and ride? If you said, right, I'm going to go spend a good day or a week here, where is the best?
It's really hard to just pick one, of course.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think like if it's like really like training wise to like have the goal to get better on your bike and do all like also train for competitions, it's for sure around Barcelona. Like and all because you have like the all the natural spots, you have all the trials parks, but yeah, if it's only for like having fun, kind of like vacation of training, but still like riding, it's probably Cape Town.
I knew you were going to say South Africa. No, I wish I'd said it before he did, but I didn't want to tartan it. Yeah. Dre said the same. He was like, that place. I keep going on about it. I'm going there in February myself.
It's just
hopefully.
like so many places, you know. It's like all kind of like basically all the beach is huge boulders, so you can ride there for like 10 years and like each day a new spot. It's amazing.
We're going to. We need to take the bikes, Tom.
Yeah.
I know
I'm invited, so
you went there last, sort of Christmas time-ish, and I was we've got to go out there and take the bike. So good call, man.
Cape Town or Barcelona,
Cape Town.
Nice warm locations.
I like that.
Yeah.
You like the sun. I mean, we know you like to rub your top off too, right? One of those. Any chance that's why he doesn't.
Makes you go bigger. Like if you're struggling for a side up, you just go right, top comes off, and then you make it.
That's what he meant. He goes, I never.
It's all about the weight. It's all about the weight.
That's what he says. I never wear my rainbow jersey when I'm training because I never wear anything.
Yeah.
Just paints it on him, like
Well, there was a video the other day that Dre just sent me this clip, and I was like, "What is going on?" And there was like you and your brother just like in your skin outfits, your tops off, and Dre's got a vest on. And I thought, What's happened? What's happened?
Yeah.
You remember that? Did you see that clip?
That one time.
Yeah. So very rare. It was captured on film, I believe, as well. Right. Sorry, we're backtracking again. So Cape Town or Barcelona, great choices. Amazing for riding spots. Definitely need to make it to both. We need to make it to all of these suggestions.
Barcelona has come up quite a lot on this podcast.
Yes,
that's the resounding.
I think we're just going to have
correct answer. The Trials Mecca.
Organise a big ride so that everyone like Thomas and all these people can come.
Actually, I spent like a week after the London Trials Battle with Andre, and like the spots in the UK are also really, really good. And I want to come back
Thanks,
there
man.
as well.
Yeah,
No,
well, I think
really,
Drake.
like all like Dartmoor and like Rockland and all that.
I was about to say
amazing.
Where Dre would have taken you, like sort of towards his neck of the woods there, Bone Hill. I'm sure you went to,
I was
Dartmoor and all that kind of stuff, and then I just went blank. Portland. Did he take you to Portland?
Yeah, I was at Portland.
Yeah, you have ridden there because I've definitely seen clips and stuff. So you went to. It's good riding because Dre took you to basically the best natural spots in our country.
Yeah.
Apart from sort of Shipley Glen up north is extremely good as far as I know. We still need to go there at some point. So you've had a good experience of the UK.
And it was good weather as well. So that's probably why.
Yeah, you got lucky again. We have trials parks here too, but have you ever ridden Radical Bikes before, or you haven't ridden at Charlie's place?
No, never.
Okay, so I mean, once this all opens up, of course, you get over here, Thomas. We've got the space. You're more than welcome. We live less than an hour from both parks. So we are the best.
Cool.
We are the best kind of in the best location.
Getting to London, that's easy peasy.
And I know you've ridden London before, obviously doing the trials battle and so on. So we'll definitely need to get you over here for one of our street rides, man. You need to come and join us for a fun street ride. I know it'd be easing riding for you.
Right, back on track. We're in the middle of the quickfire round here.
Oh, we're in the quickfire. We're in the slow fire round.
So Barcelona or Cape Town. What is your one move that you can just do that is just the Thomas move that you just love? That you just love doing that move?
I think I know what he's going to say. I'm going to write it down.
A Frenchie or a bunny hop, I'd say. I mean...
Yeah, Frenchie, that's the one. That's what I was writing. I put fret.
That's all you wanted to hear.
I think, I mean, just because it's such a sexy move, isn't it? And
yeah, it is.
They always say that French people are sexy. Yeah. So maybe it's quite a
because your bike's kind of quite geared up for that, right? You're one of the people that haven't gone for this super low bar and stem setup. You're very much still quite high.
No, actually, I was.
Okay.
Like, I had like low stem and my bar's quite like tilted to the front.
Yep.
But like the last month, I tilted it a bit up again because it came to a point where I couldn't really like do proper bunny hops anymore.
Well, this is it.
So I was like, I have to stop that. I went back to a more normal position, I would say.
I'm going to wait till somebody gets it. Obviously, Clean have done it so you can have like solid there or there or there. Imagine, like seat droppers or anything. Press a button.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a gap to front now.
Yeah, gap to front, gets here. To what bar? What bar and stem are you running? Out of curiosity, Thomas.
I'm running a 165 millimeter stem with 25 degrees.
So that's the clean stem, isn't it?
The clean, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. And
that's
the clean
exactly what I'm running. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Go on.
Good choice.
Yeah. But what handlebars have you got?
And the high riser of also the clean one.
The clean, they're basically the same.
So that must be quite good for Frenchies as well, then,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Also like gaps to front, because like for a 20-inch, it's quite long, because like the average bike is usually like a 155 stem.
Yeah.
I would say that's the most common also like in the World Cups.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, like I think for me that setup is quite good. Yeah.
So you are in Cape Town or Barcelona. You're doing a Frenchie or a bunny hop. Le bunny hop.
Le bunny hop.
Who are you going to be riding with? Who gets you G'd up?
You can name more than one person. I feel like I know one of the answers already, but yeah, go on.
Who makes you go big?
Of course, it has of course, Jonas and some of Clavati, like all the Life Cycle gang, and for sure also Karel Servin, because he has learned me so much during the past years, and he's such an experienced rider, and you can just learn so much from him. And yeah, but if it's like a matter of who inspired me the most, it was probably like when I was young, it was like Benito Ross and Kenny Belay and all like the top guys, and then Thomas Oehler, like the best Austrian guy back in the days, and all the guys.
That rings a bell.
Thomas
That name.
Oehler.
Yeah. I haven't heard that in ages.
Thomas Oehler, yeah. He's riding for Red Bull as well, and now he's doing like more shows and mountain bike stuff. Yeah, and I've always like looked up at those guys, and now I'm actually competing with them. So that's quite cool.
That's a cool thing to see that you're now where they were, sort of thing. Yeah, that's so cool.
I think there's a really nice thing in trials, because there isn't just one or two people that's experienced that. There's a large percentage of us that are meeting our heroes. We're just being like, and this is why you're kind of like, this is why I like the sport and keeping it small. I know we want to give it more traction and more display, and that, with that Tarshan edge, do you think that would ruin the sport? I don't know. I don't really know. Whilst I remember now, there is one other thing I wanted to ask, having all that sort of competition experience. What's your view on the new UCI rules now that they've approached with the gate, the scoring system and so on?
Scoring.
The positive scoring. What's your view now on competitions? Do you think that it's better this way? Could they improve it in there? What do you think?
No, I think it's a lot better, and I really like it, because it also gives the section builder like room, also in like, especially if you have like different categories, you can like make the first gates like kind of like easy and increase them in difficulty. So that's really good, and you can also make them really long if you need to, because there's like only 6 sectors. But each sector can have like 10 gates if you want. So,
because it's like really... gate A and B, right? So 4A, 4B. So you could separate. I see what you mean there. Actually, I forgot about that.
And what, they can go up to? You said up to 10 sectors there. So is that in theory how many they could have, or?
No, I don't know. I don't really think that there is like a limit.
What's the most that you've sort of come across in your competitions?
I think up to E, I think.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, so that's
5.
Oh, yeah, because it's going. Because you've got 4A, 4B, 4C.
Yeah.
5 gates per sector. Yeah. And so you have to go through all 5 to collect those 10.
I was about to say, you can't. If you dab just one of those sectors, you wouldn't get anything for that entire.
You lose. Yeah. Exactly. And that's quite cool, because you can have, especially like at the national championships in Austria, like 2 weeks ago. Carol, my trainer, was setting the sections, and they were really like demanding. You had to really get every gate first try, or every sector. Otherwise, if you missed it like once, you have time troubles. So you can have like really a good variation of like sections and difficulty with that system as well.
Wow. Do you think it's harder this year? Do you think it's gotten harder over the years? Has it been more and more challenging?
Yes, for sure. Yeah, I think like especially like the competition side of trials developed so much also into like now, especially in Spain, you know, like every 10-year-old has a trainer and they like train like really systematically and
super seriously.
Like,
Yeah.
Super seriously as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. And that, so you have to be careful because that can really drill the fun out of it.
Yeah.
I just hope that, you know, obviously it doesn't tarnish someone's experience. And because if this competition is so hard and you don't enjoy it, like, does that make you be like, well, why am I doing this?
Yeah. But like, you know, some people, I think they misunderstand like that you can train seriously and you can train hard. You can train like with a plan, but still have fun, you know, it's not either this or that, you know, so. And as soon as you have fun while doing this, it's completely fine. But if you, of course, lose the fun, you should stop.
Yeah,
doing
absolutely.
that.
Yeah, just stop. Just don't even carry on because what's the whole reason for us actually getting to this point?
Yeah,
you know.
So that's really, really good to hear. I suppose our final one is, you know, we are the Shindig podcast. We always want to know, what is your worst shindig?
Can you remember it?
Yes, actually, I've been quite lucky.
But dear. He said it now.
I think.
Touch wood. Yeah, go on.
Oh shit! Yeah. No, it was. I think I was around like 10 years old during a competition in Germany, and I don't know. I just like fell down off a rock and I just hit my shin and I had to go to the hospital and I think it was 7 stitches. Ooh. Like nothing like brutal, but still a proper dig.
Yeah, you still cut yourself open.
Well, it's still hospital. Like, that's the key word. It's not like I cut myself.
As soon as we hear that, I go hospital because it's so funny actually. I've had so many shindigs and not one of them I got stitched up, which you can see from the scars because they're disgusting. They're just like wide and, you know, looking back at this, thinking, I probably would have been sensible. So sensible guy for going to get them stitched up and and your shins looked after, as you say, you do look after your health.
Yeah. But, well, my shins still, they don't really look good, I would say. Because even in school, you know, like when I was young, always like my teachers like asked me if I have some problems in my family, you know. Because like my hands, you know, it's like my shins were like full of scars and all that stuff, you know. And
his
like,
child service is knocking on the door, like, excuse me, we'd like to come and investigate your home. Like, yes, we beat our children up with bikes.
Yeah.
I know we're laughing about it. It's quite a serious thing, really. But of course, like, there's a reason for it.
Yeah, there was some situations, and also like with you know, like the skin on your hands.
Yeah.
You know, people, you know, like, what? Do you have to work so much at home, or like, what's the problem?
What do they make you do at home? Lifting bricks around? It's slavery.
Yeah.
And...
Wow, that's fun. I never really thought about that.
No, I know. Well, especially as most trials riders now, you look at their legs and they're pretty disgusting. One of the last person I saw for a while wearing shorts, and she was like, "Your legs are minging." And I thought, "Oh God, don't say that."
So one of the other things we like to cover on the show as well is kind of related to this is pedal and shoe combination. That's quite, you know, important as well.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on that?
Actually, I got new shoes like a week ago.
Ooh.
And like new shoes is always a bit of a risk, I would say.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if anyone else does this, but I put my new shoes in the microwave.
Yeah?
Yeah, soften the heels up. It's
like
a thing.
straight.
Brand new, whack them in there for like a minute or two, especially before you go riding, and it softens up the soles. Skaters do it. Skaters do it. So just an insight there. When you get new shoes, I put them in the microwave to soften the thing up. So sorry, go on. What
And
did you get?
put an egg in there as well.
No,
to
but
get lunch at the same
You get
time.
lunch at the same time. Go on. Sorry, what did you get?
So I'm on Black Diamond shoes. Actually, it's a pro shoes. So I don't know, like Black Diamond, the climbing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
make
just thinking.
climbing shoes and climbing gear.
Yeah. I have to have a look at those. Black Diamond, interesting. Yeah.
Black Diamond, yeah, really good. Like I had the Black Diamond Technician before, and now I have the Prime, I think the model is called, and they were both like really good. And I'm on my clean pedals, so that works really.
Are they the clean cage ones or platforms? I can't remember.
Cage,
Cage pedals. So he's a cage man. He's your side
There
of
we
the
go,
bill
cage man,
there,
yeah.
Tom.
Yeah.
So we will have our. We should have been tallying this down actually.
We'll go back through the
we'll have to
previous
go back and
episodes,
through,
yeah.
or if anyone else has got some free time, go back and through and tell me. so we're going to start like tallying up, being like platform versus.
You're more likely to win a world
Cage.
championship if you've got cage or.
Well, it might be interesting
Yeah.
if we gathered all that data and you find out, oh, look, people with platforms actually have more injuries. There's
Yeah.
got to be some. I'm not a data analysis guy, but I have people that I work with who love that kind of stuff. They're like, data.
Yeah.
So someone out there will find out for us. So interesting combination there, Thomas. So, and I think we're.
Yeah,
covering
to
on a
kind
good
of to
sort of-
wrap it all up, I suppose, who would you want to see on the Shindig podcast? Who does the trials world need to know a little bit more about?
Oh, again, there's so many.
You can name a couple.
Well,
just
Someone
to
who's
drop
got a
them.
really good message to share that people need to hear from them.
Yeah.
Maybe like Kenny. I think you haven't had Kenny Belay.
Yeah, just between us, he's already booked. Don't worry.
Okay.
You say between us, but it's a
Oh
live
no,
podcast.
we're live, aren't we? What the hell? And we're recording this.
We have to cut that
I
back
might
out
have
again.
to cut that back out again.
All right, wait, we go.
Just
Oh, Kenny, that's a really good suggestion.
Kenny Belay.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, we'll have to see if we can get him on. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
And finally, so we'll definitely be reaching out to those. I'm glad you said a name. A final message for the trials community, any trials riders, any message that you'd like to say to the guys?
I would say it's pretty a standard thing to say, but it's just so important to have fun and to don't like take yourself too seriously, I would say. Yeah.
No, it's
And also
nice.
to not like let you kind of like put into a box from like society, especially for trials riders, that's important to stay real, I would say.
Yeah, just because it's so different and kind of not with the norm of cycling.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all a bit weird, really, to be trials riders, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're all strange in our own ways and whatnot. So, some wise words there from Mr. Thomas Pechhacker. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank
Thomas,
you
for
for coming on, man.
Thank you. Thanks
chatting
for
with us.
having me.
I hope we get to ride with you very soon. Maybe we'll see you at the Worlds in Austria.
Yeah,
perhaps,
you can
if
see
we-
him competing
Yeah.
later on this year in all the world rounds. Do check those out on the UCI website, and of course you can catch up with Thomas on. You've got obviously your Instagram. You've got YouTube as well.
I have, yeah.
So
Not really active, but I have.
Yeah, so you can see
Still go and subscribe because when he is active.
some incredibly amazing riding there. We've been the Shindig Podcast. We are available on your favourite podcast platform of choice every single Friday. And we put out some semi-regular video content of our street rides,
Yes.
competitions, things like that, whatever we get up
Just to
in a
note,
given week.
you now might be listening to this on our new YouTube channel. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. We have now a specific channel that is for the podcast.
Yes.
And one that is for our videos. We've kind of had to separate them slightly. We won't bore you with algorithms.
There's something called an algorithm.
Something
on
called an
YouTube.
algorithm, and we've had to amend that. So I think we have one subscriber so far. So if you're listening and you haven't subscribed to the new channel, go and subscribe right now.
The Shindig Podcast.
The Shindig
on
Podcast
YouTube.
On
Yeah.
YouTube.
Wicked. Well, we'll see you
Thanks
all
again,
again soon.
Thomas.
Thanks
and,
again.
Thanks for all the listeners.
Thank you.
We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. See you.